Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Kim Dalsgaard Christensen. I am Chief Commercial Officer here at Continia Software. I will be your host today, but in just a few minutes, I'll hand things over to my colleague who will guide you through the main part of the session. And that will be Lotte Vejlgaard, our highly valued solution specialist for expense management. All our solutions have now been upgraded to the new 2025 R2 version, which supports Business Central 2025 Wave 2, also known as version 27 in both the Continia and Microsoft world. This means that any company starting up on Business Central Online version 27 will automatically be working with our new version 27 through Microsoft App Source. And for those running Business Central on premises, the extension version supporting version 27 will be available this week or the next week. You're attending this webinar because you're either using one of our solutions or more, or you're a Continia partner. In other words, you're a part of our community, and it's a community that continues to grow. We have now more than 20,000 companies or organizations using our solutions. Over 30,000 active solutions are live today, processing millions of documents, receipts, approvals, and payments every day. More than 13,000 people are members of the Continia partner community, representing over 2,000 partners across the globe. This growing community makes it possible for Continia to grow as well. Today, we are more than 200 colleagues dedicated to delivering not just better solutions, but also the support and expertise you need to succeed and to make your finance processes extraordinary every single day. And with that, it's time to move on to the real highlight of today's webinar. So now I will hand over the screen and sound to you, Lotte.
Thank you so much, Kim. I will share my screen. Welcome, everyone. We have now approached the 2025 R2. Okay, so this is what we have officially announced on Continia Docs under new and planned. And for each topic, you will always find the business value and the feature details. The first one is enhanced bulk user input in the Continia user setup. Secondly, we have assigned per diem to projects by destination. We have added the option to do bulk approval in Business Central. We have enhanced the department menu navigation. And we have made it optional now to configure posting description when bank transactions are imported or credit card transactions are imported. And while we added the project to per diem, we have also enhanced the tax travel expense statement so that this will be visible on that report. And we have made an integration to Microsoft Sustainability. Before we start diving into the individual topics, I would like to mention, and I think Kim, you mentioned it as well. So for this version, you must upgrade to BC version 27 to use Expense Management 27. And this goes for both online and on-prem. Okay, ready to dive into the individual topic. The enhanced bulk user import in the Continia user setup. So the bulk user import functionality in Continia user setup has been optimized to improve efficiency and usability. So previously, there was a confirmation dialog that used to appear for each user during the bulk import. That has been improved. now allowing the system to process large user lists seamlessly without requiring individual manual confirmations with every single user. By this, we have increased the efficiency by eliminating the need for repeated user interaction to make the import process significantly faster, making it ideal for organizations onboarding a large number of users at the same time. So this is done through the import, the usual import when you import information into Business Central. Second on the list is assign per diems to project by destination. And this is mainly used if you have multiple destinations enabled for per diem. So if you have different rates depending on which country you're traveling in or destinations that you're traveling. And we have now assigned the option to add projects and tasks on the individual destination. So let's have a look. So these two fields have been added to the destination lines, the project and task, and they are now available both in the expense portal and the expense mobile app. So you see here that it's exactly the same view on both the mobile app and the expense portal. So you simply type in the project number and the task, and then it will show on the individual day. If the project and task details, if you type them in on the header, it will be inherited into the destination lines. So, and these can then be changed on the individual destination lines. In regards to the posting logic, if multiple destination is not enabled, the project and task specified in the per diem header will be used for posting on all days. If the multiple destinations is enabled, the system will post based on the project and task assigned to each specific leg of the trip. So for scenarios with 2 or more destinations on the same day with different projects, a separate job line will be created for each destination, and each line will be posted with the full daily rate, as the rate is determined by the final destination. Okay, a lot of words. Let's have a look at it in real. So first, I will have a look at the expense management setup. So if I go to per diem, this is the enable multiple destination. Once this has been enabled, then on the configured fields, if I go have a look at this, on the per diem, I have now added the project number and the task number, and on the destination fields, and be aware that this is only showing if you had the multiple destination enabled, you would then add the project number and task number here. Once you've done this, let's go to the app and have a look how it's working from the employee side. Oh, sorry, no, I can do that later on. Sorry. Okay, wakey. I have prepared a per diem. So now it's lying here. I know that I'm going on this trip from Monday the 6th to Friday the 10th, and I'll be working on different projects. I could, if I'm working on the same project and same task on all 5 days, I could type them in here. So let's say I'm working on this project, this task, installation, and when I go to my days, that will be inherited, and the destination as well. I can then change the destination and the project and task on the individual day. So if I go to the Wednesday, and I would then go in here, I would then maybe change the destination. So let's say I'm going to Ireland, and now I'm working on a different project. And that's the annual maintenance. And once I save this one, it will then be inherited to the rest of the days. I can then go change the Friday, because then I'm actually going back to UK, and I can type in the arrival time, of course, and it would then calculate the per diem related to this destination. Save, save, and then all the information will be visible here. So in theory, instead of having to create a per diem for each individual trip that I'm going for this full week, I can then create one per diem and then type in the destination that I'm on and the project that I'm working on. In theory, I could stay in UK all the time and then just work on different different projects. So it can be used in a lot of different scenarios. Okay, I'll just save this one because I have already prepared one. And let's have a look at that. So I'll go to my per diem in here. Sorry, that was not what I wanted. I wanted to go to the posted per diems. So I've already created a per diem and it's been posted. And here I see all the details. This one is inheriting the destination that has been put in on the header. So this is UK, and then I'm going to Ireland, and then Great Britain, and all the projects and tasks are showing on the individual day. And the calculation is done over here, and that is taken from the setup. Let's just have a quick look at the per diem setup. So I have created a destination for Great Britain, and I've typed in all the details about allowances and meals, and that is calculated automatically when this location is chosen. The same for Ireland. So whenever the destination is changed, it is picking up the rates set up for that specific destination. Let's jump back to my PowerPoint. The next topic is bulk approval in expense management, Business Central. And I'm writing expense management Business Central because today this has been possible to do bulk approval on the web approval portal, but now it's also possible inside Business Central in the expense management approval page. So we've done this to eliminate single document approval. So to reduce the time of process, to streamline the workflow and boost the productivity. And these are the things that we always have in our mind, that we should be aware that all the approvers, this is not their main task. They have other tasks that they would like to use the time on. So we like to eliminate the time spent on this. But of course, it's important because there might be documents that needs approval before having to run the pay for that specific month, or the user is waiting to get it reimbursed. Okay. Again, I'll jump in and show you how it looks. So this is the approval entries for expense management. And I've been told by the admin that I should hurry up to approve the mileages, because it needs to be approved as it needs to be added to the payroll. I can see all the details here, and then I would be able to choose 2 of those and then approve it in one go. So it's fairly easy for the user, for the approver, to go through the documents and then approve all of them instead of having to go to approve single documents. Let's jump back to my next topic. So the next topic is the department menu navigation. Okay, let me elaborate a bit on what that is. This has been highly requested by a lot of users, especially those moving from on-prem, where we had the nice overview of all the different pages, both the setup and the daily use. And now this menu gives a direct link to all the daily expense functionalities to make it easier to remember what it's called, because some of these pages you use them once in a while and then you have to ask a colleague or Google it on or search for it on Docs to remember what it's called. So we hope that this will boost the productivity by making all the tools more accessible. Let's jump into the solution and see where we find this. We find it here under Explore More Roles and Expense Management. And then all the links and all the pages are showing here. So I can go to configurable messages if I wanted to do that, or I can go to any other pages. I would have to go back to this one to find the page. But at least it's helping me the name of the individual page, but I don't have to remember it. I can use my mind on remembering other things than this. Next topic is bank transaction posting description configuration. That was a long word. So bookkeepers around the world have been wanting this for long. So we are really happy to be able to add this to the configuration. So this replaces the generic descriptions with customizable posting templates. So inside expense management setup, we now have a new field under bank transaction called posting description. This, we hope that it enables faster reconciliation and improved audit clarity, especially on the intermediate account. So once the transaction is imported automatically on a daily basis, they are posted on the intermediate account until they have been, the expense have been posted and the expense type has been added. And it's then balancing out the intermediate account. And there could be a lot of transactions, because if you have a lot of users and they're all using credit card, it's quite a lot of reconciliation to do on that account. Something you have to be aware of is that with new installations, the default setup is for the posting description is the entry number, the Continia user ID, and the business name. So the name of the merchant where you have bought something. This is the default setup. You can change it if you want, but this is the default. With existing installations, the description, the posting description is bank transaction entry number. So if you would like to change it once you've upgraded to version 27, please remember to go and change the posting description to make sure that it's posted with the setting and then the information you want. Okay, let's have a look at that inside Business Central. Again, I'll go to expense management setup page, and under bank transaction, let me just edit this one. This is the new field where you can set up the details that you would like once the bank transaction are posted after import. So here we see this is the entry number, and it's the Continia user ID and the business name, which is the name of the merchant where you have used your credit card. Okay, then let's go to the chart of accounts, because I've already imported transactions and they've been posted to the intermediate account. I'll open this one and I'll look at the transactions, and you see that this was the name in version 26. This was the description, and that bank transaction, whatever number, doesn't give me any clue what it is. But now the description, it still has the number, it has the Continia user ID, and it has the business name of the purchase. Then once the expense is being posted and it's balanced out, you see this one and this one is linked. So this is now balanced out, and I can see I can filter on the description and the user to make it easier to reconcile. Same thing on the bank account. If I go to the bank account MasterCard, I would be able to see the posting description there as well. So it should make the life easier once you're doing the reconciliation. Okay, now turning to the tax report. I don't know how many of you uses this one, but I wanted to make you aware that we have a tax report and how it's working and what information is on that report. We have added some more information now that we've added the project and task to Diem. That has been added to the report as well. And we have also added some address code if in Germany you're using the 3-month rule. So that information has been added to the report as well. And we have enhanced the filtering options to improve the employee understanding and the audit traceability. Again, I'll jump into Business Central and show you how to get access to the tax report. You can either go directly into the tax report for expense management, simply type in the date up till today's date. You see that you can have a lot of filters here. You can filter it on the user, either only on expenses or mileages and per diem. It's all up to you. And you can filter on registration date, departure date and time. So there's a lot of filtering that you can do in here, depending on the requirements you've got for this report. But let's have a look at the full report. I've got an expense here. We're now showing the payment type here. So you can define on this report, or you cannot define, but see the payment type, whether it's MasterCard, American Express, or Cash Private. And then further down on the per diem, where we've got all the destinations, you can see all the details here. So that is available on the tax report. You can get access to the tax report by going directly to the tax report expense management, or you can go to any posted documents and then go to report and then tax report, you would get access to it from here as well. So on all posted documents, posted expenses, mileages, and per diem, you would get access to it. The final one on the roadmap topics is the integration to Microsoft Sustainability. So you have probably wondered now that Continia Sustainability is not available, what to do next, because I wanted to report on sustainability, but now expense management integrates with Microsoft Sustainability. So for expenses and mileages, you can set up an environmental account, and that will be then posted in Microsoft Sustainability. So if you're using if you were using Continia Sustainability, you would need to go through the expense type and then link it to the Microsoft Sustainability, and all existing expenses must be updated with the new sustainability accounts. So let's go back to Business Central, have a look at the setup. So if I go to expense types and I choose electricity and the setup, we have a new field, a new column here showing the sustainability account number. So this is linked then to Microsoft Sustainability. So once I do the, I choose this expense type as an employee, we make sure that it's posted correctly to the sustainability account. I have a setup for hotel here as well. This is linked to other fields, and the setup is then linked to whatever star the hotel has, and I can show you an example of that. Just to mention, let's see if I go to expense posting setup, just to show you that you have the view here as well. So you can see all the setup here. So the sustainability account number is visible here. And you can then, if you want it, you can add a sustainability account number to mileages as well. So you can post depending on the type of car that the employee is driving. So let's have a look at one of the examples here. I have one with hotel. So once the user create an expense, they would need to type in the number of nights and the star, how many stars the hotel has. Let me just show you quickly. So that is automatically fields set up for this hotel expense type. So if I create a new expense, sorry, it just closed. And I'll open a new expense. See, I'll open a new expense. I'll choose the expense type hotel. And you see that the number of nights is showing. I would then type in 2 nights, and I have an option to choose from whether it's a 3, 4, or 4-star junior suite, and the calculation is done depending on that. So that is happening automatically from BC once the user have chosen this. Okay, let's go back. On top of the highlighted roadmap features, we have improved and fixed a lot more. So we are not only looking ahead in the future, we're also looking back and listen to feedback from partners and you and end customers to improve things already developed in the solution. But before we dive into this, I just wanted to mention that we've done some changes in regards to the permission sets. So we've renamed some of the permission sets, or the permission sets, in order to inherit and be aligned with other Continia products. So the SEM All has been renamed to SEM Basic, SEM Approve renamed to SEM Approve, SEM User to SEM Admin, and SEM Nav User has been renamed to SEM Doc Edit. And then we've removed the hyphen. So if we look at the general application, we have made the addresses searchable outside of per diem context, and it is specifically for Germany. There's a 3-month rule for per diem, so now the address can be searched, and you can have a list of all the addresses that has been created for this. Previously, if the user were creating a document and registered a date in the future, now this is configurable in configurable messages, so you can change that there. One other thing we've done is, and especially if you're using expense management and document capture, you might have noticed that you get a message in the solution if it has registered that it's an invoice added to an expense. That has now been downgraded from a warning to information, simply to avoid stopping the flow, because we would like to inform the admin inside Business Central, but it's a time-consuming job to manually to set everything in flow for approval. So that has been changed now. We have added some context help links to relevant pages. You might have noticed that we have Continia Hub on certain pages, which is linking to docs articles, to videos, other documentation that would help you in your daily task. So we've added this to a few more relevant pages. And then we fixed the attachment accessibility after a company has transferred with Azure Blob Storage. And we have now added open expenses to be counted in the usage statistics immediately when it's created. In regards to expenses, we have done some changes in regards to the description, whether we would like to make the description field mandatory or not, so that the user would type this in, but we were missing the information from the merchant. And now we have a specific field showing the merchant, and that will be available now on the reminder email. So previously, when the description was empty, then the user didn't know, get the information about all the transactions, but now the merchant field is showing on that. If you're using expense management and document capture and you would like to process the document in document capture, the invoice added to the expense, once it's sent to document capture, now the documented expense will automatically be approved, to minimize, again, the manual tasks on that. And we have made the external document number more flexible for posting options, and enhanced the validation feedback for description field requirements. In a way, that was what I mentioned earlier in regards to the bank description. For per diem, we have auto-populated the departure country region, which was last used. And we have a full country and region name displayed instead of codes, because codes, yeah, you would have to remember what the code is, but a full name is always way more helpful. And we have fixed some incorrect settlement line number generation for expense report attachments. And for approval, we have custom filter now persist when working with approval records. So if you have made a filter, you wouldn't need to set that all the time. And we'd fix some Danish language filtering error on approval entries page. So smaller and larger things has been improved and fixed. Just to mention where you will find this information in the Continia docs under new and planned release plan, you will find the things that has been added to the 2025 R2, and you would be able to find the business value and the feature details. And if we wanted to add additional information, you would find a link down here to a more detailed article for this one. For the detailed changelog, again, it's on Continia Docs. It's under new and planned and detailed changelog, and you will find all the details here that I've mentioned here. So I would definitely recommend you to subscribe to this one so that you get an update whenever there's a new release, and you will get all the details. Yeah, I've made a link here for the changelog. You will receive these PowerPoint slides after the this session, and then you have all the details. Well, that was the guided tour. I hope you recognize some of the things that you've been mentioning as improvements, or at least that you can see the value with these new things that we have developed. Thank you so much for participating. Enjoy the rest of the day. Bye.